I love delusion. I've always said that. I live in cotton candy land in my head, and it's so much better than reality.
Is that a flavored vape?
Yes, I have a serious problem.
Can we talk about you? Well, that's a smuggled vape.
It's a smuggled vape.
Because in California, it's illegal.
Oh my God, yeah, it is.
Flavors are illegal.
I completely forgot. It feels like a drug deal getting them now. I text this sketchy smoke shop owner, and he's like, anything for you, my baby.
I know.
And he like brings me boxes of vapes like around the back, and it's really embarrassing. Like, you'd think I would take it being like outlawed as like a reason to quit, and I'm just still going. No, and I have like popcorn lung, Josh. Like, it's just I'm hacking cigarette mom. I sound gross, you know?
Well, I don't think you sound gross, but vapes are... Wait, Marshall, are we recording? Let's get all this.
Oh, yeah.
Are we?
But Josh, you should introduce Tana so that people know... know about her.
But we're keeping in her vape habits, damn it. We have Tana here today. It's an honor. Tana,
Hi.
Internet celebrity, so many things. I don't want to reduce you down to one thing.
You're so nice.
You're so multidimensional.
You are so nice. You're one of those people for me where whenever you gas me up, and I've said this to you like since the dawn of time, but it's like I don't need Josh Peck telling me I'm great because you're so great. Like,
come on.
How do you go from Hillary Duff to Tana Mongeau? Is it a slow week or?
I think it's a natural progression. You are the metaverse's Lizzie McGuire. That's the title, Marshall. Clip it.
You are so nice for that. Like 7-year-old me is just dying at this entire conversation and interaction. But thank you for having me, Josh.
It's an honor, and I feel like you and I don't mean to project, but when you work in the internet influencer type deal, I'm constantly rolling my eyes at the end of the day meeting people. And I'll go back to I'll never do it in person, but I'll go back to my wife and I'll be like, this schmuck. Like literally, if they're not behind their own camera and their own setup, they don't know how to interact in the world.
That's so true.
I never had that with you. I was like, oh, this is a person who, if the internet didn't exist, you would always find your medium because you have that thing, that quality.
That is so fucking nice, first of all. That's insane. I've always felt that way about you. I think that, especially when you see kind of traditional media celebrities like cross over into this world, you experience like a lot of, like, I'm too cool for this, but I'm fucking here, like, and understandably so, you know what I mean? If I was you, I would be like, these TikTokers, but you've always been like so welcoming and like you want to learn about this world and you like think it's cool and you're nice, and I've just always said that, so I definitely appreciate the compliment. I feel the same way.
Well,
don't worry, guys. I don't need any compliments.
You are so cute and gorgeous.
I don't need to be gassed up or anything. I'm just gonna leave you to be. But Tana, we're so excited to have you. Thanks again for joining us. We were talking about vapes. I want to jump back into vaping.
Yes.
So what are you currently smoking? We're very, very pro smoking on this show. I don't know if you knew that. We prefer cigarettes though because we think they're cooler.
Cigarettes are cooler. At least when you smoke a cigarette, you're mysterious, you're artsy, you're cute, like, and it, the whole you have to go outside and it's conversational, and the vape is just like this sad little cancer battery that I carry around that's bright blue. It's like, I'm walking in a room 5 minutes before because you just smell like cotton candy and misery, and it's really not cute, and I really want to stop, and it's
yeah, you're right. Like, cigarettes are like the intercourse of smoking, and vapes are masturbation.
100%.
Right? Vapes are jerking off.
And that was amazing analogy.
Right?
It's like I'm masturbating.
Yeah, it's just like, quick, let's get it done. And don't look at me.
Exactly.
The problem is though that masturbation is just awesome. So I don't know if like I get the comparison, but like cigarettes are just way better, way cooler.
100%. They really they sincerely are, and I don't know. I'm dying to stop vaping, and I can't. So see, you hear that in my voice? That little there's some phlegm in there.
Yeah,
it's not cute. I was at this comedy show last night, and one of the comedians was imitating her mom having like a 70-year-old smoker's like laugh, and I was like, that's me. Yeah. And I'm 24. Like that's embarrassing as
You're 24.
I'm 24.
That's wild. Ben, are you surprised by that?
Yes.
He's like, no, she's vaping a blue battery in here. Fucking.
And I mean, solely because of like your energy. It doesn't, I don't think, and I'm a child actor whose childhood was robbed from him. I don't think I was as mature as you are at 24.
That is so nice. I'm just masking. I'm masking so hard. No, it's a trauma, right? You know, maybe, I don't know. I feel like I'm 85 in every way. Like I like see my chiropractor more than most people my age see their like dick appointments. You know what I mean? Like I feel 84 in every way. I mean, I've been doing this, I guess, for like a while. I've known you for at least like probably like 4 or 5 years now.
Yes.
Like a pretty long time. So I guess I could see how you see that. But if it helps you, I feel 85.
Fran Lebowitz has this great quote. She's like, I'm old at heart.
I feel that way.
I always wanted to be a grown-up. I never understood what was so great about being a kid.
100%. And then you get older and you're like, oh my God, I need to heal this inner child and figure my shit out. And you almost wish that you'd wanted that. But I was the same way. I grew up in Vegas, which is why I'm insane. But also, but also like a place where you grow up so fast, same as Hollywood, you know what I mean? So it's like you think you want to grow up so fast, and then you're like, this is not all it's cracked up to be.
And why do you, because I always hear about people in Vegas, they live 20 minutes outside in like the suburbs, and they're like, it's not the Strip, you don't go there. Like, why do you grow up so fast in Vegas?
I envy the people who say that, okay? Because had I had just like a suburbia childhood and Vegas was like over there, you know what I mean? You'd probably hear a lot less stories about me like fucking sucking dick and doing crazy shit. You know, I'd probably be a little more level-headed. I grew up like 15 minutes from the Strip, but I mean, that is kind of where I partied, and it was like a big epicenter of like my teenage years, I guess. And I guess, I don't know, it's a city kind of same as Hollywood, centered around sex and drugs and alcohol and money and all that type of stuff. So I guess it just like opens your eyes to that at an earlier age, maybe.
Sure.
Yeah. And then I came here and it was the same thing.
It was worse.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. Speaking of idyllic childhoods, Ben, any trauma on your end?
Nope, no trauma. No trauma. Wonderful Jewish parents gearing up for a wonderful Pesach. And no trauma. That said, love Vegas. And honestly, going through your trauma almost made me excited to go to Vegas.
Honest,
So
100%. It's a great place when you don't live there.
Yeah, it's so fun. That's the same reason I would never live in LA. Josh and I talk about this all the time. Josh doesn't even know why he lives in LA. He's a New Yorker at heart.
Oh, you are such a New Yorker.
So.
I am, but it's nowhere to live. It's no place to reside full time. It's a ridiculous. Speaking of, and we don't get political on the show, but yesterday, imagine the city was a little busy with the goings-ons of a young Donald Trump being arraigned.
That is so crazy. That happened yesterday.
It was just a regular day in the city.
I'm sure.
For sure.
Nothing. The city is always just pure chaos. And that's what I love. Like, it just like keeps your heart rate just like always bumping.
I weirdly feel at home. I weirdly feel at home so much more in a city that is chaos. Like, I love New York City because of that. It's
really?
Like, yeah. Eventually I want to have a different journey and era and chapter where I'm in South Dakota and I'm vibing on a ranch. And are there ranches in South Dakota?
Could you imagine doing like OnlyFans live from Bismarck?
That's what I'm saying.
Right? Like,
that's what I want. Like simple life meets internet whore, like type of energy. Eventually, it would be fun, but I love a chaotic city.
Do you know what the South Dakota taxes look like? Because I would obviously pick somewhere with no income tax. Like that would be the goal.
That
You'd
would
make double.
That 100%. The LA taxes are crazy. That's why everyone's getting out of here. But here, Josh and I are still in LA, clinging on to whatever's left.
There's nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't need to I know Dear Media is also based in beautiful Austin, Texas, but even Austin, you get tired of it. It's like fun for 6 months.
Yeah, I talk my shit about LA, but when I'm gone for a while, it's like I want to come home. It feels like home as much as I hate to say I've just become LA. I don't know how else to put that, but it does feel like home.
I was just in Florida. Florida's great. What's wrong with Florida? If you want to be in Miami, Miami's crazy. You want to go up a little, Bal Harbor is just like so rich, like just so loaded. And then like you have like the Hicks even more north.
Yeah.
Florida is arguably its own country.
I love
like you have,
Florida, which says
right?
so much about me as a person. You know what I mean?
Me too.
Miami is
Yeah.
kind of my Vegas, I guess, since I'm like desensitized to Vegas. That's like Miami is my crazy getaway place. They passed a law yesterday in Florida where now I think it's the only state now where you can have just like fully concealed guns. Like you don't have to be like, hey, I have a gun. You can just be like, my gun's in my purse. So I'm sure things will go great.
You don't have to tell the police like that you're carrying?
No, I think.
They could be like, do you have a weapon on you? You'd be like, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, 100. I think so. I think you can just keep your like sawed-off shotgun like in a briefcase over there. I could be completely making this up though. If you're getting
Let's go with it.
If you're getting your news information from Tana Mongeau, you're so far gone, you know. So that's not my problem.
Could you imagine if the three of us had a morning show like Ryan and Kelly? Would that be incredible?
I think you just unlocked a new goal of mine.
I really see that for us, and I think it's on a major network.
Do you remember Kathy Lee and Hoda on the Today Show?
Yeah, they were a wild crew.
They were, they were just drunk at 7 a.m. every single day, and it was so fun. I lived for it.
Yeah, I like white wine moms.
So much.
Right?
So much.
Yes.
Me too.
It is not substance abuse when you are a suburban mother. Like, I don't know what it is. I can't wait to be that. I can't wait for that era for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'll tell you my dream stack as I get older, and it's going to be an antidepressant, ozempic. And
I don't even think COVID spread that fast around Los Angeles. Yes. I think I have just never seen something so overnight. Like, everyone's on it. I feel like my mailman's on it, you know?
Name them. Who's on it?
I know, right? I know, right? Oh my God. It's so funny too, because it's like, it's scandalous, obviously, because it's taking away medicine from people who may need it. And I'm just imagining a world where it wasn't that, and people could just be like, I'm on Ozempic, you know what I mean? But it's wild.
So that's what they say. But these drug companies can make as much as they need. Like the diabetes epidemic in America shouldn't be, like Ozempic shouldn't be taking diabetes meds from diabetics. They should make more Ozempic.
Ozempic shouldn't be a supreme drop.
They have to be
limited.
They have the capability. And I think that the reason why it's like become so, you're on Ozempic is because people are fucking jealous.
Yeah.
Like the number one problem in the country, speaking as a current fat man, and Josh is a former fat man that has the heart of a current fat man, is that obesity in America is like the number one problem, and we solved it. Like nobody wants to talk about that. Like this is slashing. Like people are so skinny, and I just think that there's such a weird connotation with it. Like I was watching. I saw like a Watch What Happens live clip where Andy Cohen was talking to a Real Housewife, and he like turned to her. He's like, "You look so great, Ozempic," and she's like, "Yeah," but like I was thinking to myself, like, when did it become appropriate to ask a 55-year-old woman like if she had a tummy tuck? Like, can't you just look good?
I know. They made an Ozempic joke. They made an Ozempic joke at the Oscars, and like the entire crowd laughed. Like that. If that doesn't just like tell you enough, but it is crazy. I've been doing like a little health challenge right now, so I've been losing a little bit of weight, and it's so funny how many people have been like, "You look so good, Ozempic," and I'm like, it's unreal. But even if we could talk about it, though, I feel like the way Hollywood is, people wouldn't be like admitting to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like how no one in Hollywood wants to admit that they're Republicans, but we all know who they are.
Well, oh my God,
Adam Sandler. No, I'm kidding.
What about all the other shots? Like Josh, we were talking about this with Jason Nash. Like this like whole male physique that is just from like diet and weight loss, when really they're like injecting themselves with like horse tranquilizers. Again, Tana, I'm not a doctor either. So, like, I don't know if they're taking, like, horse pills, but they're doing something. Definitely not horse tranquilizers. I think that puts you to sleep.
Yeah, that's ketamine. But everyone's on that out here, too. So.
That's medicinal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is so... strange. I feel like ketamine is an anomaly in the regard that it's like a party drug and people are using it. I guess there's a lot of those, but it's so interesting because I was at a concert the other day and I was listening to this musician backstage like talk about how he was like, yeah, man, I've been on ketamine. I go to this place on Melrose and like whatever. And I was like, it's just, that's crazy to me. I'd be too scared to try that.
I have a crazy ketamine story, actually. Josh, have I ever told you this story?
No.
I was at dinner probably 3 years ago, and this guy, it sounds like a similar guy, where the guy that you were talking to is just a drug addict, and the person I was talking to is a drug addict, where they like pretend that their ketamine is just like prescribed by a doctor, and it's totally cool, when in reality they're addicted to drugs. This guy had, you know, like those extra packs of gum where you can punch out like a piece of gum from the aluminum foil?
Yes.
He had that in ketamine form, and it came in gum, and he said that the ketamine was just takes the edge off a little bit, just like relaxes you. It's prescribed by a doctor, no problem. We're at dinner, like, you want to try it? I'm like, sure, like I'll try a little if it's prescribed by a doctor and it comes in this like unique little gum, like punch out, whatever. So I took like a half a piece of gum and I'm like chewing this gum. And I had to go to the bathroom, and I go to the bathroom, and an hour and a half passes by. I must have fallen asleep. I went back to the table. They were completely gone, and I had 40 missed calls.
What friends are these that they
way.
left you in the... Because around, like, the dessert course, I would have been like, Ben is either... We need to either get Ben an ambulance or a Modium, because he's been in there a long time.
Absolutely. That's terrifying.
Yes.
Isn't that crazy? Like... ketamine, this liar. He literally looked at me. He's like, yeah, it's no big deal prescribed by a doctor. It's like, it's no big deal. It's prescribed by your drug dealer.
Yeah,
and it's a big deal to me.
That's terrifying. I can't imagine just waking up in the bathroom of like Craig's here, like in a K-hole from and the gum of it all.
Yeah, it was American Bar, like a very like regular New York restaurant. I woke up in the bathroom and I was just like sitting there. I'm like, oh, okay. I guess I've been out for a bit.
That is, I guess I was in REM. That's fucking terrifying. Yeah.
But have you seen on Instagram now, I will get fed ads for, like, first there was Hims, hopefully a sponsor of the podcast, but like, where it was like dick pills became like, you don't got to go to the doc for dick pills.
Yeah.
You can just get it sent to you.
Which
right?
is crazy. It's like fucking HelloFresh. Like you can get some kale to your door and some dick pills.
Hims is now selling Ozempic. Did you know that?
Are they?
Yeah. Hims is now selling Ozempic.
And Weight Watchers bought Ozempic or some semaglutide. I don't know much about it.
That's so wild. But it's funny because targeted ads, that's like my targeted ads are like earrings. But I love that for you.
Hey, 15 years sober. It's going well. But like, I will get ads for, do you need a alternative depression relief? And it's medicinal, either psilocybin, so mushrooms, or ketamine. And they're like, our doctors will have a consultation with you. I'm like, how's that going to go?
Right.
I'm like, I'm guessing I qualify.
Like it's in someone's basement for sure. On a side note.
And then they go, and then we'll send you the kit. You want to know what's in the kit?
What's in the kit?
Ketamine. A sleep mask. And a blood pressure cuff. Can you imagine? I'm in my room looking at my blood pressure that's 2,000 over 1,000,000 with a blindfold on, just like, oh, Dad!
Yeah,
Dad!
That's the most insane subscription box known to mankind.
Yeah, it's like Bespoke Post, but for drug addicts.
100%. And I just know it's in the nightstand of every single man I've ever been interested in, ever. That's crazy.
Speaking of men, what's your type? Ben and I?
Oh my! You guys are completely my type. And I'm in love with you. I don't have that much of a type. Like when I look at my exes, and I line them all up, it looks like I was just walking past the tents on the 405 and I just was picking them. You know what I mean? Like Make-A-Wish. Like you can come with me for the month, you know? They all look pretty different. But I love an air of dying, okay? I think that's the common denominator, you know, whether it's the dark circles, whether it's the tall, skinny, pale vampire, whether it's the tattoos that just like are giving high school desk, you know, coloring book, whole nine. I like to say it's personality. I like to say that's the thing. Like, I love a funny guy, but then some of my choices are pretty questionable. Funny guy or girl. But
where did Jake Paul fit into that?
He's probably the least dying of a lot of the majority. You know what I mean? Boxing, healthy, like whole nine. So that was a little rogue, I guess. I steered off the path. But I guess personality, maybe that's where that... Yeah, I think that is the common denominator, I guess. It's crazy. I would absolutely be with someone who is like what most people would call like a 1 if, you know, they make me laugh, for sure.
Was there any takeaway? Because the time I've spent around the Pauls, and they've always been lovely to me, was, and I don't mean this in a negative way, I think it's necessary for ultra successful people. There was an air of ambition, which was, I'm going to make it, either get out of the way or get run over.
100%. I will always say that the time I spend around them was so inspiring. Like, in the regard that I feel like I am the most inspired by just watching someone in their element and how they crush it. And we were talking about this right before we started rolling, but there is something to be said about a quote unquote delusional ambition of I'm gonna be the fucking president, and if you don't believe me, you know what I mean, watch, like, type of thing. And I think that's kind of how they are, but they put in the work as well, you know?
Right.
And they get what they want, and it is very, very inspiring to see people have creative, wild, crazy ideas and kind of bring them to fruition. And I think it did inspire me a lot that, like, I think Jake was always very much putting into my mind of, like, especially in the beginning, like when I had first gotten to know him, I was a vlogger and I was doing this, but I've always had kind of a nonchalant, whatever happens, happens. I'm gonna, you know, whatever. And he was kind of the first person to really put into my mind, like, there is a girl right now in her bedroom who wants what you have 10,000 times more than you that hasn't made it yet. And if you're not constantly competing with that, you could lose it. And I really appreciated that, you know?
Yeah, they don't seem like a guy who goes, let's walk around Home Goods.
Oh my God, at all. That was one thing that I loved and I hated. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it was never like, let's go see them. Well, I mean, they do fun things. I'm making them out to be like sociopath machines, but I appreciated that, I guess, you know, that it was never like let's go for a walk in the park. It's like, how can we monetize this walk in the park?
Yes.
But, you know, it's a good thing, I guess.
So if the 14-year-old wants what you have at 24, what does 24-year-old Tana want? I don't even know how to phrase this. What do you want in 10 years from now?
You know, hopefully I'm alive. Hopefully I haven't kicked the bucket.
Do you really worry about that?
No, I think I did. I did in maybe my crazier days. Now I think, unfortunately, I'm around for the long haul. But it's so hard because I feel like every time anyone's ever asked me that, I have had some answer. And then it's like 4 years go by and it's just like, you don't want that anymore. You don't know. You know, I hopefully in 10 years, I'm like picket fenced up, fucking married, kids, whole nine. Like, I wanted to do that really young. Even now I'm 24 and I'm like, I wish I was like married and pregnant. But I don't know. I mean, I saw this TikTok psychic, which is just insane. They made like a video, a reading of me, and I was like talking to them and stuff, and they were like, your star signs mean you're gonna do this forever, you're gonna be famous forever, you're gonna blah blah blah. And I was like, damn, like I was hoping I could have like a candle shop owner era or something like that. But I guess if I'm still doing this, I hope I'm like hosting, or like, I love a good talk show host. I love a good Jennifer Coolidge type. I love an author. I love all that type of stuff. So if I'm still in this, hopefully I'm just being authentically me and funny and having fun. I never want to be like trying to be something I once was. Like, you know what I mean? I hope if I keep doing this, I can grow with it and stuff like that. But I don't know. As long as I'm happy, who knows?
Can we talk about the OF of it all?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Are you still doing it?
Yeah, I'm going to do it. That's one thing I will be doing until I'm 80. Let me tell you that much. I have a tattoo on my ass that says young as f***. So that's going to be really fun to see on OnlyFans when I'm fucking 65 if I don't laser it off by then.
That's an untapped market. Is there a 65 and up OnlyFans? Like currently?
I'm sure.
Really?
I am. If I had to put every penny I have on it,
there's a cover for every pot on OnlyFans.
For sure. For every single one.
Like if you're into club feet with stockings.
Oh,
like
for
you're gonna
sure.
find.
I think I know a few people.
Yes.
But yes, I do it, and I probably always will. I think that, the reason I started OnlyFans at least was because, I mean, first of all, I've always been pretty wild and rogue, and I was posting ass pics on Instagram the day I turned 18, probably before that. And I always kind of like to laugh at the people who would sexualize me no matter what. You know what I mean? Someone tweeted me the other day and they were like, this is going to be a very rogue sentence, so I'm sorry in advance, but they were like, I just jacked off and came to a video of you getting Botox. And I was like, what a crazy fetish. Like, yeah, freeze those muscles, bitch. You're not gonna age. Yeah, like it was, you know what I mean? Like people are gonna do that. That's kind of crazy, right? And there's gonna be people that sexualize you no matter what. So being able to kind of profit off of it and make a joke out of it and flip the tables, I guess, is cool to me, and it's fun. I do vlogs on there. I have a show called Tana Gone Wild. So, and that when the demonetization of YouTube hit, like that was so cool for me to still be able to film rogue ass videos and have an audience who wants to hear me tell crazy sex stories and be crazy and do all that type of stuff. So I'll probably always do it. But I never want to put myself in only that box. So I think that's why I don't go too heavy on the promotion. That's why I'm not in my full porn star era. I think there's a good balance in kind of having that just be one of the like facets of what I do, and a good source of revenue, I guess.
It's also artisanal, right? Like OnlyFans is like the farmer's market of smut. like Pornhub's Walmart.
Well, oh my God, that's so fucking, that is so true.
Yeah.
It's, I can't ever like fully get behind it, like in the paying for. So I'm so grateful for the people who are willing to do that. We had someone call into my friend Jeff's podcast the other day, and he was talking about buying my OnlyFans and buying things, and I had like an out of body experience. I was like, thank you so much. Like, you could go on Pornhub, I'm sure, and even find probably some quality Tana Mongeau mashups even. So thank you for wanting that niche foot video.
Have you had interactions with people where you suspect that they've seen or subscribed to your OnlyFans, but they never say it?
Yes, because I feel like my social media demographic is like 90% women, pretty much across TikTok, across Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all that type of stuff. So, and then my OnlyFans is obviously probably like 80% men. So when I meet people, if it's a young girl who's coming up to me like, yes, Slay Queen, I love your earrings, I'm gonna be like, TikTok. But if it's a 35-year-old man like, Tana, I love your work, I'm like, thank you so much. So you definitely can kind of tell, but which I can't imagine for certain girls, like who do OnlyFans but are maybe a little more shy or like hate that. I can't. It's probably pretty creepy, but I just laugh at it. I think I have the personality that's kind of built for that. I'm like, thank you so much. I'll keep up the great work.
Ben and I chatted about this a few episodes ago, and I'd love to get your opinion on it. So I've never been on OnlyFans. Ben, have you?
No, I was gonna say we're too married for a long time. Missed the OnlyFans. We missed it. We missed it. So we're fascinated by all of it.
Yeah.
But I totally missed it.
Well, you guys could have one. Maybe
That's
what we're thinking. That's what we're thinking.
Please allow me to sign you. Allow me to take you under my wing.
Give us just a ballpark.
Pitch us.
Give us a ballpark. How much we making month one?
You, month one.
And just a suggestion.
Okay, let's say your picks. Let's say your starting, bout of content is. Let's not even go rogue. Like
Classy.
I don't want you rocking out with your cock out. I don't think that you need to do that. Let's say
tummy tuck scar. couple.
Yeah, let's say it's pretty PG. I think you would have $1 million first month.
Stop it.
I do.
Okay, so we just need to make the optics that my kids need this money for something, right? And then I'm a fucking superhero. Marshall, make a call.
Well, I'm right here. Hello,
Josh. What are we doing? Like $1 million first month? I think I just crap myself.
God. I would bet one of my toes on that. Wow. I really would. I think,
and maybe we just do like a light, tasteful, shirtless calendar.
I have an OnlyFans agency as well.
Wow.
I've signed a lot of people, and I love that aspect, especially because I don't know if you know, but the OnlyFans agency world is kind of dark, especially the queer OnlyFans agency world. I've just recently really been diving into that, like just people look at people as dollar signs, and people do a lot of shady ass to people, and people are pressuring people to do things they don't want to do and all that type of stuff. So that was kind of my passion behind starting the agency, was I want to help people, and I have a great team of people that can help people properly and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So
that means cool.
I spend a lot of my time pitching people. I'm like, you can make this, or people ask me, or all that type of stuff. So it's fun, learning about that, what people could make or what people could, do.
And what do you think, I feel my wife knows I look at porn. She's not bothered by it. In fact, I'm sure she's relieved that I'm or I could bother you more. Or I could just have my moment.
I'm so pro the person I'm being with porn for that sole reason. Yeah. For that sole reason, I'm leave me alone. I want to rot here and be disgusting. Go watch someone else do some crazy shit tonight,
But I feel like my wife would not be okay with me looking at OnlyFans, and maybe it's because of the intimacy. What do you think of that?
I 100% understand that, and I validate that statement, because I think that, at least I feel like, even 85% of the people who are buying my OnlyFans, it's not like they're just buying. I understand there's the curiosity factor and all that type of stuff, but they want the girlfriend experience. They want to pay to talk to you. They want to message you. They want to tell you about their day. I make so much more money off of a video of me waking up in bed and or you know what I mean, and being good morning, I'm gonna get in the shower, whatever the I'm doing, I don't know, than I would off of a photo shoot of me in pink lingerie.
Sure.
Because people want to feel as close to you as they possibly can, So I think there is something to be said about that I could see why a wife or girlfriend would be way more bothered by, especially because with porn, you might be, searching threesome video, and you're clicking just the first thing you're seeing. With OnlyFans, you're kind of searching Riley Reid, and you want to be as close to her as possible. It is a more intimate thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting, the connection, but it's fascinating that you say that, because we reduce most men to just be animalistic, just want to get off, but in a weird way, they really are seeking connection.
For sure. And I never want to say sometimes it's sad, because that's just mean, but it's so mean.
Is.
It's so mean.
Sad.
I was gonna say, Josh, you sugarcoating it into men just seeking connection.
I know.
They're all seeking connection with the same woman that does not know them. It is it's a little sad. It sounds to me what was the craze with the phone calls, those, not sex hotlines. Wasn't that a
cam
big thing?
girls?
Isn't it again, it's not that. It's seems like a more tasteful version of that. But I think that's those guys that are craving that level of
connection, for sure. And
I
for the most part, I'm here for it, and I'm down for it. If I can be that for you, I'm just a philanthropist, I'm just a humanitarian. I can fucking be that for you. No, but I've had a few OnlyFans stalkers, people who have found my address. And
I saw an article about that. You recently dealt with a pretty scary situation, right?
Yeah, it's knock on wood, it's still kind of a thing, people finding my address and sending me gifts, or showing up to my house, or showing up to places I frequent and stuff like that. And it comes with it, you know what I mean? And I know anyone reacting to that doesn't be like, okay, wipe your tears with a fucking dollar bill.
That. Can you give us an example?
But yeah, like I have this guy who did kind of start sending me flowers and mail and, you know, hey, I was outside of your house today. Like, what are you up to? And he was talking to me and my best friend Ashley, because we do a lot of stuff together and we look really similar, and it's kind of like that. You could tell he was kind of hyper fixated on the both of us, and he'd showed up to our old house, and our old house was kind of on the hill, so he climbed the hill like with a knife and like sent photos of him outside of that house. And then even the house I'm currently living in found that. We went to Korean barbecue one time. He sent us a photo like across the street, like, you guys look so pretty today, like blah blah blah. And some people are maybe sick and they think they're dating you. They're having these personal OnlyFans conversations. They're receiving these intimate moments via content, I guess, you know, from you. And maybe if someone's not all there, they perceive that for something it isn't.
You know,
holy smokes.
Yeah. It is wild.
These people and their trauma. You know, I didn't have a father, and what did I do? I became a drug addict, was morbidly obese on television.
You know, like, I didn't have a father, and here I am on OnlyFans. Figure it out.
Do something respectable. Go on OnlyFans or Nickelodeon, will you?
Which are the same thing, yes, just in different regards.
Nickelodeon is the recruiting program for OnlyFans.
Yeah, and Dan Schneider's the CEO. Did you ever? Sorry. Oh my God.
Clip it.
Did you ever have any interactions with Dan Schneider?
He created my show.
Yes. Sorry.
Both shows I was on.
I've been in a little Dan Schneider TikTok rabbit hole lately.
Everyone is.
I read Jeanette McCurdy's book. I thought it was an amazing book.
So did we, despite what Jeanette says.
Did she think?
She was our first ever guest.
Really?
Like the day that she released her book. Mm-hmm. Like she was becoming it. She came on. It was an amazing get for us. We were truly good guys. Unbelievable interview. Spoke about everything that she wanted to, nothing that she didn't want to. It ended, and she told us not to run it. We've spoken about this endlessly. But so there is an unreleased episode of our podcast, the two of us and Jeanette.
That's available below on Patreon for $5.99. No, I'm just kidding.
No, that's our first OnlyFans, Josh.
I was gonna say that, and then I didn't know if I should. I don't think Jeanette McCurdy wanted to be in that sentence coming out of Tana Mongeau's mouth, but you said it.
Can I? There is a small update, because you're right. We have talked about this endlessly. That happened yesterday.
Yeah.
So us being the good guys we are, said Jeanette, no problem, we'll kill it.
Yeah.
Do you want to come back on? No response. So 4 or 5 months later, you know, we got you, we got H Duff. I'm like, we're killing it. Let me check in. She owes us. All I wrote to Jeanette after 6 months was, hi. Hi.
Oh, that's tough.
I got a green bubble. Am I blocked?
Oh, wow.
I think I might be blocked.
Oh, wow.
Or she was on a 12-hour flight. Here's hoping.
And that's what I tell myself to sleep at night with a lot of people. Like, oh my God, they're just on a
Oh
fucking,
my God, you're blocked.
I think I'm blocked.
No fucking way, man.
Yeah.
That's call Miranda, you know, get her on.
Miranda's my girl.
She's the
greatest
best
ever.
She is the absolute best. But
you read Jeanette's book.
Yeah, I read Jeanette's book. I don't know where. Oh, and obviously the Dan Schneider, or alleged Dan Schneider,
yes,
chapters were so crazy, and it just put me and all the Jamie Lynn Spears conspiracies and stuff like that. I don't want to grill you on this. I don't want to ask you anything.
We'll do it
that
on
makes
your pod. No, you can.
What were your interactions with him like, if I can ask?
I am being 100% honest. He just was a tough boss.
Yeah.
And I was a kid.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
With it, obviously, I'm sure you've unpacked that in therapy, you know, the feelings of.
That's right.
Having a fucking boss when you're a kid and the child star of it all is just crazy to me. I could talk about it for hours. But yeah, I guess you probably lucked out in the regard of your interactions with him.
But see, I like what you just said, because we actually spoke about it a little during the Jeanette podcast that never aired and will never see the light of day. But at least from my understanding, like, Josh's experience as a child actor was far different from what is portrayed by others. Josh, I don't think that you would agree that you hated it. Like, I think you loved it, right? Like, I know that there were tough things, of course, but
yeah, I think both things can be true, right? There was a duality to it that people. I don't love the moniker of child actor because I think it infers freak.
I don't think it does. I don't think you're a freak, but continue.
You know what I mean? Like, and the exceptions to, there's a saying that the exceptions to the rule prove the rule, which is most child actors flame out and become a cliche. And then the ones who, like, for every Zendaya, there's, or Selena Gomez, there's tens of thousands who we don't hear from anymore.
100%.
And
we see them on TikTok. We've spoken about this guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is his name from Zoe 101, the brother? What's his name?
Oh my God. What is his fucking name? I've met him a few times at like parties and shit.
We've seen him on TikTok, but Josh, also, you're an actor. You're no child actor. Esteemed.
Well,
just
thank you.
I think there's also a bit of, I mean, yes, there are the Zendayas and shit of it all, but I mean, there has to be a bit of difference as well with the child actors that are in a million movies and stuff, and they're acting, and maybe I'm wrong, I'm guessing here, but that are acting in movies and known for a million different things and stuff, but versus kind of being famous as one thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like Miley Cyrus being like Hannah Montana. Like that has to f with your head a little bit of people, especially as your brain is in its formative years, of people kind of, you know, like Drake's your brother and you live in this house and you are this and you're not Josh Peck, you're Josh from Drake and Josh. Like what was that like for you?
Yeah, I mean, it was odd, and what was the really hard part that was specific to me was I was like a chubby kid growing up, but nothing like, not TLC level chubby. And then, like, I was pretty normal, and then like 8 to 12 I had like puppy weight like most chubby kids.
Yeah.
And then from like 13 to 17 I put on 100 pounds.
Yeah.
Right. And then at 17 I started losing weight. And from 19 to my age now at 36, I've been so I was overweight for like 4 years of my life.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was the time in which I was enshrined on television.
Yeah.
So people married themselves to me, to that image.
Yeah.
Which is a blessing because they fell in love with that guy.
Yeah.
And that means a lot to me that they loved him. But it took me a really long time for me to embrace that love instead of me saying, no, I don't want you to love him. I want you to love me now.
Yeah.
In fact, forget him.
Yeah.
Because I want to forget him.
Yeah.
And it took me a really long time to accept that, like, no, that guy made a lot of people happy.
Oh, yeah.
And that's just a part of my story.
But that is the hard thing, I think, within itself with the Hollywood, I guess, and fame. And it's one of those things that you sign away with fame, that like people are going to hold on to certain bullet points of your life and your career, whether it's relationships, whether it's an image of who you were at a certain time, and maybe until you die. You know what I mean? Even just like seeing like the Selena Gomez, Justin Bieber, like I feel for her so heavy in the regard that it's like for the rest of her life, people are going to hold on to what this relationship she had did for them. Like that's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's just like a crazy fucking hard thing, but it's, you obviously, people hate when you complain about it. Like you have to just accept that that's a thing.
Should we get to our What Are You Nuts moment of the week?
What are you nuts?
I was gonna say we've gone very deep, very deep, and I loved every minute of it. And yes, What Are You Nuts? Tana, are you familiar with our What Are You Nuts segment?
No, but I would love to become familiar.
Our What Are You Nuts segment of the week is just regular Tana living life, looking out at the world around her, seeing something, and just thinking to herself, what are you, nuts? Like what? Like it's either what are people nuts? Is there like something in the media that sort of made you pause and say, what are you, nuts?
Absolutely.
We do that every week. So you're more than welcome to start. If you're not ready, either Josh or I could start. Totally up to you.
Allow me to think about it for a second. I feel like I have that moment every day in the mirror, more so than anywhere else. I guess my ketamine moment with that was, I was a little like, wow. But I would love to hear y'all's.
Ben, please start us off.
I can start. It's more of just a general trend happening in my DMs where recently I've been getting, hey, Ben, I'm from South Carolina, coming to New York. Can you put together a list of restaurants I should look into? And it's like, what are you, nuts? I'm not your travel agent. I'm not Yelp. Like I have a lot of things. Put together a list of the best Italian restaurants on the Upper East Side. It's just like a little crazy.
That happens to me a lot. Like people really. Yeah. Do people do this to you? Like use your DMs as just like a ask for, like, do people ask you for money? A lot.
Constantly. And by the way, I think people like Mr. Beast and David Dobrik are to blame.
Yeah.
No one's ever asked me for money, and maybe I just give off broke vibes, but nobody's ever asked me for money. It's always just like, where can I eat you, fat fuck? Like, I know you know the places. I know you know the spots.
He's so hard on himself.
Where can I get my food?
And I love it. No.
Oh my God. What's yours?
So mine is, I have a couple. Okay. So I'm going to be hosting I can't talk about it yet. Don't try to get it out of me. But I'm going to be hosting like a food competition show. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, wow.
That's all I'm saying.
Oh, wow. Ozempic being given out in the crafty room after.
And so I was interviewing some people. We were doing chemistry tests for not a co-host, but someone. It's a food show. Obviously, I'm a former thick boy, so I understand food at a certain level.
Yeah.
But like a true food professional.
Yeah.
And so I meet these three people, all very nice and lovely. But the first person I meet with, we're Zooming. And so she mentions, this is our first interaction. She goes, I'm from the Bronx. I'm from New York. I said, oh, very cool. I'm from Midtown Manhattan, from Hell's Kitchen area.
Yeah.
To which she responds, those are not the same thing. I was like, I know.
Like, are you fucking nuts?
I'm like, I have the job. What are you, nuts? Like, be nice to me. So that's my what are you, nuts.
I think that my what are you nuts it does have to go back to the ketamine, and I'm sorry. It's just that was like, if I really have to hone in on my moment of the week where my head really turned, it was that. I just, especially in the musician world, I feel like that ketamine therapy is just every musician's thing right now, and every time I hear it, my head is turning fully like an owl. I'm beside myself. I'm sorry. That is my what are you nuts moment. I don't know.
Is there a trend right now you're seeing like you talked about musicians, whether it's guys you're dating or just things you're seeing that's just giving you the ick, as the kids say?
Oh my God. The ick is such a plague. It's always been a feeling. It's always been a feeling. But I think until it became materialized into something that you can, a box you can put it in.
Yes.
Now it's like, I just can't stop. And I've become such a fucking bitch about it. Like I've been kind of seeing this man very, very base level, very,
casual.
That's the word. Thank you.
Sure.
Seeing this man very casually, and bless his heart, you know, he is he's a very, very sweet guy, and he deserves someone that loves him for him.
Are you ending it here?
But I've just been for some reason, I feel comfortable enough with him to straight up tell him every time he gives me the ick to his face. Wow. I'll be like, don't do that. That's an ick. That's one of my big icks with guys. And this is like indisputable. You cannot do this. I'm going drier than the Sahara Desert, especially in those beginning stages. It's one thing over time if you want to do this, but when they, and I don't know if you've ever experienced this with a guy, this one might be for the girls and the gays, but you lay down with him and it's like date 1 or 2, hang out 1 or 2, and they show you anything from their camera roll. Like, and here's what I mean, okay? If we're sitting here having a conversation, you know, about something like, you know, a beautiful place in New York City or a pasta dish, and you want to be like, oh my God, I just had that. Or something, that's fine. You know what I mean? But if it's like, look how good I looked a year ago, just unprovoked, like camera roll narcissism. And I think he started to do that, and I had to tell him to his face. I was like, listen, this is a feral ick of mine. And if you ever want to see me again, I'm gonna need to hear your phone lock in the next like 10 seconds. You know,
Josh, should we start doing icks of the week? That's pretty cool.
I like that.
I like that. I like that little round table.
I might run that home for a canceled podcast as well. I think
we could share it.
We could, and that could be a fun thing we do. That could be a fun thing we do. You know, we mention each other from time to time. We're like, I know Josh just did this week, but we're gonna. Wow, I love a weekly ick. I really do. How do you do that?
What?
Like when you're acting, how do you cry on command? Where do you go mentally?
Where do I go to cry on? I used to never be able to, and now that I have kids, I can't help myself.
Oh wow,
it's right there.
Oh wow!
At all times.
What do you think about? Do you think about them like?
I can think about the song that my son and I love from Sesame Street, and it's over.
No fucking way.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I need to have a heart. Seriously, someone knock me up.
And Charlie Puth did a cover of that song with Big Bird. And now when I see Charlie Puth, I'm fucking triggered, guys. Shout out Charlie Puth. Tana, we love you. On that note.
Shout out Charlie Puth. Thank you so much for having me.
You're the best.
After Hillary Duff is crazy, man. And I might pull a Jeanette. You know, I'll call you. We don't have to air this, but thank you for having me.
It's going up.